Welcome to another video. Walk on the wild side, and I'm here in a wild and windy Blackpool. I tell you what, it's absolutely hectic on the promenade here. I'm just up from Gin Square, and I think it's about to start chucking it down as well, by the way. Just look at this out here, there, the wild sea there, the tide's in, we've got a high tide at the moment. And what I thought I'd do in this video was to take a little look around this area here, the Gin Square area. We've had hotel fires, all that sort of thing, and I thought we'd take a closer look at the promenade, just wonder about what's going to happen in the future. It's changing all the time, Blackpool Promenade. Oh my goodness, look at this, folks. I'll tell you what, I can hardly stand up at the moment. We're almost into August, the last day of July, and this is the weather here in Blackpool. As I turn the camera around this way, just look at the way all these bushes are. We've got a nice garden here, by the way. Look at this garden. This is Jubilee Gardens. And this is another thing I wanted to talk about. This is the only part of Blackpool Promenade where there's like a proper garden. Look at this. This has been here since Victorian times. This here. Jubilee Gardens. There you go. It's very nice, isn't it? Now I just wonder whether, you know, the Golden Mile between the South Pier and the North Pier, it's pretty much devoid of garden areas. The only green areas are those lawns, you know, on the headlands, the big lawns. And I'm just wondering whether they could have a garden like that. Wouldn't it be great? Because I've mentioned in previous videos that there's a lack of green spaces and trees in Blackpool. Now, maybe growing trees is a little bit too much on the promenade, but we've certainly got these bushes here. These seem to do pretty well. Could we have something like this along the main promenade? Because I think really Blackpool could well do with it. Anyway, let's have a look at the over here where this building's disappeared. Check this out, the Cliffs Hotel. Look at that, what a grand building. We've got some pretty big hotels up this part of the promenade, and they don't come much more grander than the Cliffs. Look at that there. But just next to the Cliffs, you might remember that there was a hotel there called the New Hackett, and now look, it's just a space. It's just this empty space here now. It was all knocked down, it was on fire, they had to knock it down for safety reasons. What is going to go in that place there? Is it just going to be a car park? Well, we hope not. It really could do with some new fancy hotel in that space there. What do you think? But we'll have to wait and see, because it might take a while before anything happens. But there's the other half of the building there. That's what it looked like. The other half of the building there, there's actually some quite fancy apartments on the end. They're called the Berkeley Apartments. So there you go. That was where the New Hackett's Hotel was. What's going to happen? We'll have to wait and see. I'm just going to make my way down Jubilee Gardens. You might be able to see Blackpool Tower there in the distance. But yeah, this is like a bit of a sunken garden as well, folks, because if you look here, we've got this big hedge here, and it raises up to the promenade. And I think that protects it a little bit. What do you think? And I think something like this could really work on the main promenade in Blackpool if they ever get round to doing it, which I very much doubt. So we're just looking at the other half of the terrace that contained the New Hackett's Hotel, and there's the Berkeley Apartments on the corner there. I mean, the design of the building wasn't as grand as the Cliffs or anything like that, but it was still, it was a nice building, and it's a shame that they had to knock that part of it down. But as we turn around this way, we're now looking at the Savoy. The Savoy is owned by Britannia, and a lot of people think, well, Britannia, they just run places down, don't they? But this was a very, very classy hotel when it was first built. Probably not quite as classy as what it used to be, but what do you think of Britannia? Are they going to look after these hotels? What do you think? Is the Savoy safe? Well, it looks okay structurally. don't think it's going to come tumbling down anytime soon, so hopefully the Savoy is okay for now. Let's carry on down here, shall we, towards Ginn Square. Okay, I'm just coming back down into Jubilee Gardens again, and I can't believe this. There's a tent over here. Oh my goodness. There's a tent. There's somebody in that tent. Look at that. Well, at least it's protected with the hedge from the wind, but I'll tell you what, I hope they've got it tied down pretty well, because we've got winds gusting up to gale force today. The rain's starting to come down as well. Yeah, I can't believe it. We've actually got someone in a tent here in Jubilee Gardens. That's the second time now that I've seen a tent, someone pitching a tent on Blackpool Promenade. The last one was in one of the Crescent Gardens on New South Promenade a couple of weeks ago. I hope it's not a sign of things to come, by the way. We're getting close to Ginn Square now, folks, but I just wanted to show you this here. This is a memorial to the emergency services. In particular, there were 3 police officers back in 1983 that drowned just off the coast here when they went into the sea to rescue a man and his dog. So the 4th figure on there represents the emergency services, and yeah, that made national news back in 1983. Yeah, what a tragedy, folks, there. So that's a memorial to them. I'm going to head my way down here now to Ginn Square. Okay, so I'm now at Ginn Square. We've got the big roundabout behind me, and they've actually just put some footings in there. They're going to put a new display. We know they've had the Spitfire model. They've had that there for the last few years, the life-size model of a Spitfire, but they're going to put something else in this year, folks. Yeah, they're going to be putting like a 3D display in, so that's going to be something to look forward to when the illuminations are on. So that's Ginn Square over there. And there's a row of buildings here, and some of them are really nicely decorated with the tile in there. That seems to be the style along this part of the promenade. Yeah, but there's one there in the middle of the street. See that one there? That one's been empty for quite a while. What's the future for this one? Let's go and take a closer look, shall we? Yeah, it's not a pretty sight here on Blackpool Promenade with this building here, yeah. As you can see, there's a bit of rubbish outside the front. It looks like maybe some work has been done with it. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? On Blackpool Promenade we have this empty building here. Not sure what it was, whether it was a hotel or what, but this is the way it looks at the moment. Anyway, let's carry on. Oh, that rain's coming right at me now. Yeah, it's really coming down now in Blackpool. And just on the left-hand side here, we've got another large property here. Not sure what it was. It was probably houses. You know, when it was all first built, these will have all been probably private houses. Yeah, but this is another one that's semi-abandoned by the look of it, but there has been some work done on it, as you can see. There's been some new windows put in on the top, but there's a lot of broken windows there. And that's the thing, you see, when these things are left empty, they get abused, don't they? You get people squatting in them, you get all sorts of people going in there. You might get some urban explorers in there, squatters, that sort of thing. And it could be in danger of going on fire. If someone sets it on fire, well, there you go. But that's another huge building here on Blackpool Promenade that's, well, not looking too great, is it? Anyway, let's carry on up here a little bit, shall we? I've just caught some illuminations heading that way on the back of that truck there. That's a bit of an exclusive. That's some illuminations. So that's where I was, just down there. I've now made it to Worley Road, and you see that red and white building on the corner there? That's called the Cherry Blossom Inn. Now that's named the Cherry Blossom Inn because it's named after the family that owned the shoe polish Cherry Blossom. How about that? A bit of history for you. And anyway, here's a bit more history for you, the changing face of Blackpool Promenade. If you'd have come down here back in the 80s, you would have seen a huge building over there. It was the Derby Baths, folks, and what a grand building it was. It was Art Deco. It was an Olympic-sized swimming pool, freshwater swimming pool, and that was demolished. I think it was demolished in 1990. Some people think they knocked it down to build that there, but they didn't. The Pembroke Hotel was built after the Derby Baths. Yeah, the Derby Baths was built back in the 30s. So there you go, a big loss to Blackpool Promenade. Anyway, let's have another look out here, shall we? See what's going on. The rain is coming down. Oh, just look at that. Wow. So there you go, that was a little look at Blackpool Promenade. We're up here at, oh, I'll tell you what, I'm about to lose my hat here, folks. Yeah. What do you think? The changing face of Blackpool Promenade, is it changing for the better? Well, we'll have to wait and see on that. There's been quite a lot of changes up this end. And what's going to happen with those buildings over there? Yeah, it's been like that for a number of years. And what about behind me? The Derby Baths, a very sadly missed Derby Baths, folks. Yeah, what a grand building that was, and what a shame that they couldn't save it, because if you look at it today, it's just a piece of land. Nothing's been done on that site ever since. Was it a good idea to knock down the Derby Baths? I know it was something to do with building the sandcastle. Yeah, when they built the sandcastle, they had to knock the Derby Baths down. It's very, very sad the way that happened. Anyway, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. The changing face of Blackpool Promenade, it's changing all the time, and I thought I'd just show you a little bit about what's going on up this part of the promenade. I hope you like this video. If you do, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and tick the bell for notifications of new videos, and I'll see you again on the next one. Whoa, I'm about to get blown away.